Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, all of you watching, welcome back to the Digital Racing Championship, DRC. It is myself, Zappe, once more, and I'll be on the commentary mic to take you all through the adventure of this one. It is round 2 here at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. We already have drivers out on track. We just had a little bit of a delayed start. Apologies about that. Just trying to get to fix technical issues, unfortunately, with sessions. Unable to join sessions and stuff, but we are back now, and it is all started, and we are back with it as it is. Brilliantly done now. So once more, ladies and gentlemen, round 2 of this season, this championship, or season 13, obviously. Unfortunately, oh, it's the ball out there, does George. Apologies about that. It's a bit of a chaotic start for myself. So myself, Zabe, I'll be on the commentary. Might take you all through one more time for this amazing race here at Las Vegas GP at the Las Vegas Strip for a fantastic one. It's going to be 25 laps of racing, but just before that we will go qualifying, and it is 18 minutes of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. Hopefully everything's going to be fine. This is honestly, this is all we've had. I'll try the alternative, and this was the best one, unfortunately. So let's hope for the best. George already with the fastest time on track, goes even faster. 1:31.340 in the previous race. George took pole at Bahrain, as far as I remember. So it is interesting now with Jagu in P2 in the Haas. Then it is Prototype in P3 with James in P4. I wonder if he's coming in as a reserve for Sauber. Then comes Justin in P5, the previous Bahrain GP winner. Then it is Striker. He seems to be stuck at this point, or somewhat bug we're having on screen. Then it is Hart in P7 on an outlap as well. So pretty much every single driver has got a time on board, apart from the two World Day and Croissant, the two drivers who've been out of the qualifying session. And looking at all those, there is this RB of Maxim, but that is a bug, ladies and gentlemen. He's not without a whole front end of the car. He's not missing that. It's a bug, known bug on the F1 game. I myself have seen it multiple times on different cars, different lobbies here and there. So that is the case out there. We'll look at the Drivers' Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Some part of the stream, some part of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. It is interesting, and I think that is interesting, as Juno's going to go over the line, goes P8, moves a few positions out there. Then's going to be a Sauber of James, but he's just going to be starting his lap. What about anybody else behind? There is the two Alpines of Mark Ford and Emperor. Emperor is further back, but Mark is going to be the next car over the line. Goes P9. What about his teammate, who's just going to be coming over the line now as well? Moves up, but stays where he is in P12. Just moves up in terms of time and position, 132.670. So a couple of drivers now on flying laps and faster laps out there. And look at that RB. That is a complete bug, ladies and gentlemen. Do not misunderstand this for a damage on that RB. Even if there is, the front wing is damaged, it is at least visible, and the front part of it is there. The whole front part is missing out there, and unfortunately, whatever you want to say, it's bugged, and not much we can really do about it. What about Sir Jagu? Yes, Sir in his name. Can he perform like one? He's just going to be making his way around the final corner now. Sir Jagu currently in P2, over the finish line, still stays P2. Does find a 1.2 a bit of improvement on his time, but not enough to move himself into P1. One Ferrari is into the pit lane. What about the other? Ian the man around the final corner and over the finish line. Improves by over 4/10, and that is going to be 131.8 for Hart out there, which is Ian Hart it is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I added this man on PlayStation as well. Thanks for that, because that's going to be making it easy for us to join the session in case of any difficulty. But James on the other end goes P1, pushes everybody by the down, and that is 131.329. What a lap time that is. Not further away is George, 340. So that is it's still going to be interesting, and definitely with just 5 minutes now remaining in the qualifying session, this is going to be very amazing. This is surely going to be pretty interesting and very close at the back as James on pole at the moment has taken pole. I mean, we're going to look at the Drivers' Championship. Maybe this is the best time. Jagu is on a lap, but I don't think he's on a flying lap at the moment. So let's just have a quick lap on the Drivers and the Constructors' Championship, which is, I think, just the most one that we should worry about. The Constructors' title. Mercedes leads in P1 ahead of Red Bull in P2 with 27 points. 2 points ahead is Mercedes with the Sauber in P3 with 18 points of Matthew. Finished P3 up as far as I remember. Then Haas in P4 with 12 points with Aston Martin 2 points ahead of McLaren in 6th place with Ferrari in 7th. Alpine, Williams and Racing Bulls yet to get a point. So Drivers' Championship is just the order of everybody, where everybody finished in the previous race. Obviously only race 1, so not a lot to look at, but still an overview and a thing over it. And Justin leads the championship, 25 points. He won that race in Bahrain, and it was a brilliant one at front with Matthew in P2, followed by Dylan in P3 and Ben in P4. Waz was a reserve driver. I don't think he's racing tonight, but he finished in P5 as well. Then Casper, George, Mackenzie, then Zuki, followed by Ian. Then Ian in the top 10. Everybody outside, they don't really have yet points. I think it's not really relevant right now. Obviously, as much as it would be in the later parts of the season, later parts of this, obviously the long season, obviously. So let's see then. Angry Ink at the moment on a faster flying lap. How fast is he going to be doing? He sure needs to be he needs to be quite fast to improve, to get further, to move at the front. Can he quite do it? Sparky starting his flying lap. Angry coming up to the end of it, finding 8/10, but that's not going to be enough. That should actually be enough to move himself one position, but is it going to be enough to more than one? No, only P15, goes 34.0, but that's definitely not enough to move himself up into the top 10 or anywhere near the top 10. What about Prototype? That's Matthew, ladies and gentlemen. He's 3.7 seconds down on his time, at least in the middle sector, or that's what they, what about his battery? And yes, he is on a flying lap, as I was about to say. That's what the dash says, and eventually he's going to come into the pits. That indicates that he was not improving at all on his time of 1:31.554. He was using his ERS though, so I'm sure he was on a flying and a faster lap. He was trying to at least go faster, but only until he came around the finish and just came around the pit entry and would have said, all right, let's now simply go on to the pits and rather just come back for the final part, because if you go in right now, you'd rather have an opportunity to come back again. But anybody, I think, waiting right now, anybody coming out of the pits right now would be their last opportunity, because anybody later than that would be over. I hope you all watching will enjoy this qualifying with a minute to go in this one, as everybody is locked in. Every driver out on track is locked in as well. What about the Ferrari of Red? He's a little bit far further from the end of this lap. In fact, rather, he's in the final sector now and will be the next car to go over the line, as it's going to be him coming over the line. Doesn't improve at all. Stays P10. Was P10. Stays at P10. That eventually will be the end of qualifying for Red then in that Ferrari. What about the Haas of Zuki? Doesn't improve as well. In fact, that might have been, meanwhile, multiple cars now making their way around the final sector. One Alpine in P12. Prototypes retired out of the session. That is an interesting retirement. What about Mark? He doesn't improve on his final run. What about Thunder over the finish line? Does find a 10th, goes P8, and at least something to cheer about in that car. What about the McLaren of George? He's just starting his flying lap, and the next car over the line will be Emperor, but no, he's coming into the pit lane. What about your pole sitter K? James? He hasn't been challenged by anybody yet, and he's starting his flying lap. In fact, he couldn't get into the checkered flag. James couldn't get to the checkered flag, so that is going to be an opportunity for everybody behind to make it up. Many drivers couldn't get to the checkered flag, and I think Prototype might have just retired because of that, knowing that he was not going to be able to get to the checkered flag, and the best option would have been that he retired out of the session. What about the Ferrari of Hart and over the finish line? That is going to be P5 for Hart out there, and he's going to stay there. Found slight improvements, I believe, but not much at all. What about his teammate Red? He obviously, I don't think, will be finding anything at the moment. In fact, he is pushing foot to the floor over the finish line, but he's very slow. Then his previous lap, he just went there and took the checkered flag. What about Jagu? It was not Jagu, it was Zuki, goes P13. Anybody else closer to that finish line? It is going to be the Mercedes, and that Mercedes will be of Justin, your previous race winner, and the man who won in Bahrain is going to take pole here in Vegas. Is it going to be anybody who's going to be able to beat him there? He's taking pole position, but others behind are very fast driving. Meanwhile, Striker has crashed out on track and is out of this session. What about George? He's going to be coming around the final corner. He took pole in Bahrain. Can he do it in Vegas? No, he can't. And that is going to be Justin, ladies and gentlemen, who takes pole position here at the Las Vegas GP. He won in Bahrain, and he's going to take the momentum to continue on and take pole position here at the Las Vegas GP in round 2 of season 13. And what a way to announce himself after a race victory. Doesn't let the momentum slow down, doesn't let the momentum to get broken anywhere, any bit of it at all, and takes pole position here at the Las Vegas GP. And now it is time for him to race for 25 laps of racing. So that's the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Takes it by only 27 hundredths of a second. So that's Justin, 20 milliseconds. Justin on pole, James, George, Jagu, followed by Prototype in the top 5 outsiders. Striker, Hart, Juno, Mark Crawford with Thunder in the top 10. Just outside Red, Emperor, Zuki, Max, Speeder, Angry, Sparky in the top 7, P7, top 17. Just the 2 Croissant and the final McLaren driver in P18 are out of the session so far, as we've been told. Drivers have been told, at least one of them in the lobby, obviously saying do not ready up, which obviously is a bit of a problem with miscommunication between drivers. Some obviously, not gonna lie, some drivers get a bit impatient more than the others, which unfortunately end up, being at a place that they don't want to be, because you know that in a way drivers are wanting to get ready and select their setups as soon as possible, but not everybody does that. Not everybody is really able to do that. Like that, not every team is able to get their cars ready. Not every team is able to get their team ready to go racing. I'm assuming there will be a formation lap. I'm hoping there will be a formation lap, so it's easy for us to open the menus up and everything to be ready before everybody goes racing and before we go racing. And indeed, there will be a formation lap out there. And there we go then, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to go racing here at the Las Vegas GP. It'll be interesting to see 25 laps of racing. What strategy do these drivers think it's best? What tire do they start on? And every single one of them have started on a set of medium compound tires. So that is interesting. I mean, unless an early safety car, and I think that's probably why everyone has went for a medium tire. I'm surprised no one's went for a soft tire. Obviously, soft tire is not going to be lasting you more than anywhere near like 6 or 7 laps. That's maximum. But at least somewhat of a safety car, early safety car. Okay, so that's quite understandable why nobody's went for a soft tire. A medium hard or a hard medium would be a one-stopper, but interesting, nobody's went hard tire as well. in the best way possible. It's okay that drivers, you know, one stop's fine. We've seen medium hard. That's going to be a nice one, but why nobody's went hard? I think that's probably what I understand right now is the only reason nobody's went hard at this point is because in case of an early safety car or a safety car around a time where medium tire runners can pit, but the hard tire runners wouldn't unfortunately be able to pit. So that is just the thinking would have been about these drivers, and it makes it interesting that everybody on the same compounded tire would mean that whoever has more temperature, whoever has been managed to warm up their tires the best for the race start will be able to get a best race start. Meanwhile, drivers there nearly collide with each other as George now has been disqualified, and that might be a disadvantage because that then means that he would have no temperatures in his tires at all. And we are ready to go racing. Qualifying's over and it's time for the race now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 lights are going to be out to the Las Vegas GP. It's going to be a good start for Paulson. It's going to be a good start for James as well. Meanwhile, George Bang gets a blistering start round the outside. Our race leader keeps in there. There's a Haas on the inside line. As he sends in there, there's Jago. And they almost make contact and George nearly gets sandwiched in between. And there's already yellow flags out. And I think that is a virtual safety car at the start already. There is interesting as the overlay is going nuts out there. Meanwhile, Hart is already out of the session and Emperor is down in P18 and already drivers have lost out positions. And this is what we were talking about. 9 position gain for Sparky. What a start for him in that Aston Martin after losing out. And there is a, I don't think it's a full safety car, so it might just be a virtual safety car at this point. It'll be interesting to see who puts it. Look at that. How many drivers got penalties? What really happened there? Because I don't think we've done justice to what exactly happened, because 10 seconds to many drivers. Emperor, Croissant. That is Spark. That's not Sparky actually. Along with Juno, Jagu, and George have got 10-second time penalty. Speeder 20 seconds, then 30 seconds to Sparky. That is just horrible start. Meanwhile, it still says yellow flag. These drivers are going side by side, almost nearly under the yellow flags, but it is the virtual safety car, so it should be ending soon. And as soon as it ends, all right. That is a nice one that we have just been disconnected. That is cool. And Hart, who we joined earlier on from, okay, I wonder if it's... Did I crash or is it a restart, ladies and gentlemen? If anybody could let me know, please. Because the stream's fine. Everything looks okay. So I don't see a reason of a disconnection at this point. If it is, it's then obviously the EA team it is. It was a chaotic start. And eventually it is ended the worst way possible. So Ian, I joined off him earlier on. He was on PlayStation. Speeder, I think, is on PlayStation as well. That would just make it easy for me to join up off him, but he hasn't added me yet. All right, so it says hidden activity. That is interesting. All right, so that means that he might not be there. So now somebody would need to invite me. So any of the drivers are watching, please hand me an invite there. As all right, so going on right now. I think restart might be wise. Yes. So restart would be the case, and I think that would probably be the reason I'm disconnected. I'm just a bit confused there because I haven't got anything just yet on Discord, but eventually a restart seems to be the way. Seems to be the best choice, because I'm not even sure, because it was just glitches, because eventually, you know, it was glitches in a way that it started, and before we were past turn 1, a lot of people just had penalties, and eventually it was just it. And I think now, obviously, with the restart, lobby restart, there might be a little bit more weight with obviously the grid getting set up and everything getting ready for the race once more. So we'll just be waiting in the wings. Meanwhile, everything gets ready up and restarted. Anyway, so it was not only me, I guess. It was just bugs, and we just got an announcement. That is obviously Leppy is restarting. So that is interesting. Obviously, a lot of glitches happen there, which I think live proved we really had of it. So eventually that's gonna be the case, and it's just like it's not around here. It's not like personally, if you ask me, I do multiple leagues, and these type of issues happen. They happen pretty often. It's not like it's a once in a while issue, or right. It's a glitch. It's rather it's not like a common glitch, but it's like, yeah, it is a common glitch. It's not like a glitch that that comes once in a while. It's like an everyday glitch. It's almost like that. So alright then, we're waiting for a new lobby, and once everything is set up, we'll be back soon, ladies and gentlemen. Up until then, just stick there, don't go anywhere. The race is gonna be on in a few moments' time, and it is something you don't want to miss. Vegas is a circuit that always provides nice racing because of that long, never-ending DRS straight that is... I think, okay, in terms of DRS, it's not that, might not be that big, but I don't have the exact measurements, but it might give competition to the Mexico City straight, which is a very long one as well. And people are asking for an invite just yet, but I wonder if the lobby is open, because obviously it needs to be created and settings need to be done, and it's a bit of a hassle. It definitely takes a bit to really do, and I'm sure everybody will get an invite as soon as it's ready. So yeah, we'd just rather be just with the drivers. As soon as we have an invite, we'll be in there. So we'll just take a bit of a pause, hopefully get the invite soon as the lobby gets ready, and just as we get into the session we're about to start, we'll pick it up from there. And brilliant. We have got an invite, but let's hope it joins, because every time I've received an invite from Matthew, not only at DRC but back in Swift as well, it was just multiple tries it would take only joining, and some drivers who would invite me, it would be like it would join easily, and all right. Nice and easy, does it this time? So 25 laps of racing. So just a bit of pause, as it might take a little bit of a time for these drivers to, not these drivers, but obviously managers to just manage and get the grid ready. And as soon as that's ready, going racing with 18 drivers around will be fun, and it would be absolute bits of racing. And I think after Bahrain, racing at Bahrain, it was fantastic, and racing around here would be even better. Who do you think going to be winning this one, ladies and gentlemen? Is it going to be Thunder? Is it going to be George? Or is it going to be Matthew? Anyone in sight? Anyone inside that top 5? Maybe Jakku as well. That is a brilliant little top 5 that we had. James, in fact, James, I forgot, obviously, he was in there as well. So a lot of starters, a lot of very competitive drivers. And I'm sure racing is about to get exciting. It's about to get very exciting to really give you all the fun. Give us all an excitement out of a bit of a bitter start, we'll say, to the race. Obviously, because of lobby issues in here and there. But hopefully, as soon as those are fixed. And we now have 20 drivers. That is absolutely brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. Now out of 18, before it was 20, 18, and now it is 20. And eventually we have the chat. Sorry, but I'm trying to read it from my phone, but eventually I cannot because yes, don't those show this. Yeah, I hope everything's just fine now for the stream and stuff. It looks okay to me. So hopefully it's going to be a fine one and really have us enjoy some great racing action in pace without having to worry about anything. And now 20 drivers out there. It's double the fun for sure. And there we go, the message as we are ready, the grid is ready, and everyone is ready to go racing without worrying about anything at all. And the message to everyone, do not do any heroics into turn 1. No heroics into turn 1 at all, and hope for a smoother start, because it's about no heroics into Cinder what plays, that's in Monaco, but it's like no heroics into turn 1, at least here at Las Vegas, and some of a start that we are looking for. Just a nice and easy peasy start. I think drivers are not going to slow down. Like, my personal experience, like, somebody would still be there who would be looking to go and make it all the positions in turn 1, trying to do everything he can in turn 1. That's just what I think. Let's see if these drivers prove me wrong, though, because that is eventually going to be a good one, because I see drivers calling out for no heroics or chaos into turn 1, but it's always a matter of, does everyone follow that? Does everyone, agree on, okay, we will not make any chaos? Or like each of them is thinking, okay, nobody's going to do the chaos, I'll go and be a hero, but turns out everybody's trying to do the same, so that definitely ends up being a bit of a bad situation out there, but I'm definitely hoping that these drivers are going to be doing a decent start, at least this time. That is interesting. I don't know if you guys hear that in the background or not. I'll stop talking for a moment, and there's it's a drum or something in the background in the game. That's for sure. That is interesting. I think I've heard it before. Maybe I've got a brand new headset recently, so only now it's picking up all the audios that my previous one never did. But it's interesting. So we still get the formation lap for the drivers to go around, for the drivers to take it easy, have a practice start before the race start, and now still everybody's going on to a medium set of tires apart from one, and that is, I wonder who was the one that joined the grid? One was Rebullets, that's for sure I know. But who's the next one? I think 18 drivers there, well, unless somebody joined and they became 19 at the previous race start, which unfortunately I do not really remember that, but there you go then. So starting on the soft tyre would possibly force you for a sort of two-stop strategy, but on the medium compounded tyre the best would be to go start on the medium, go on to a set of hards, and there is going to be a driver going into the wall there. But that is, ladies and gentlemen, only if eventually two drivers have been disqualified out of the formation. So yeah, and that strategy, that one-stop strategy, I think, sure, I don't blame the drivers for trying that, or really, you know, a bit of a mixing up in the top. Only one driver instead of softs, and I think only the same goes for them as well. You know, the only way that they would have the medium tire for would simply be as a expectation of a safety car, an early safety car, at least within the first 10 laps. That could, or first 7 or 8 laps, that could have them an opportunity for them to really have a go. And ooh, nearly misses the back of that RB. I believe the cars would be ghosted for each other there, but still not yet. So then it is time for another start, ladies and gentlemen, as we are ready to go racing for the second time here at the Las Vegas GP. It is Justin in P1 with James in P2, followed by George in P3. Then comes Jagu in P4 with Prototype completing out the top 5 with Striker, Juno, Crawford, Thunder inside the top 10, just outside R8, Chaos, Emperor, and Zuki with Max and Speedo completing out the top 10. Oh, sorry, top 15. The bottom 5 are Angry, and everybody else. We'll look at that later on as we need to focus on at the front of the race. This one it is, ladies and gentlemen. 5 lights out, and we go racing here at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. The lights were held for too long once again. It's got a very good start for Justin this time. It's a decent start for George as well, rounding outside towards turn 1. The leaders maybe collide there, and they might have collided out there as Justin still continues on and keeps up his lead so far at the front. Meanwhile, Jagu is trying to come back at him, and he has gained back and all the way into P4. Meanwhile, George in P3 keeps up his third place with that Prototype in P4 as well. James has lost out a couple of positions and looks like he might have damage. I wonder if he has. No, he doesn't have damage, so he might have run a little bit wide. Meanwhile, at the back, there's going to be an RB, and there's still going to be Chaos that I was talking about in lap 1. That's going to be the RB. He's going to try and recover it back once more, but in fact, that might have not been the RB then, because the Ferrari of Wraith looks like, Ferrari and the RB of Max look like without a front wing, and already it doesn't take long before the first virtual safety car is called out on the first lap of the start. It's not a full safety car, but a virtual safety car in the back. Meanwhile, our soft tire starter, the only soft tire starter, still stays in P20. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin of Croissant is without a front wing as well, along with the Ferrari of Hart, who's without a front wing end plate, at least at the front. What about Day? Is he with a front wing intact? Yes, he is. Meanwhile, Thunder has lost out positions as well. I believe he started in P10. He's all the way down. So look at the penalties. In fact, Maxi has got a 10-second time penalty. So the start, 11 positions down as Hart came down. He's massively down, came down positions. Thunder 6 positions down with 3 for Wraith as well. And the front, James has lost out 1 along with George, who's lost out 1 as well. And there were going to be drivers into the pits. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, 1 into the pits. I think so. At least I saw somebody come into the pits. And yes, there has to be James having to change his front wing. But nobody else thinks or fancies a pit stop at this early in the race. And in fact, there is multiple drivers into the pit lane, but I assume those all are going to be the ones who were involved in that incident and really made a bit of contact with each other. So at the start now then, 1.5 seconds already the gap between the top two in this one. 1.5 then ahead for Prototype as well, but only 5/10 behind of Prototype is George, and then Striker and Beef up with 5/10 behind as well. And this is going to be interesting because this, as soon as the DRS gets enabled next lap, the fight's going to be on. The fight is going to be between these drivers, and it should be nothing but somewhat exciting as 5/10 between these drivers. The gaps are, and as soon DRS not going to be enabled this lap, obviously, just gone to racing from the virtual safety car. Meanwhile, Zuki is going to be right behind Sparky, and an opportunity for Zuki to get past is going to be there. Does he go late on the brakes there? No, he doesn't. Did he make contact there? I'm not sure what happened. That's Sparky, and that is Sparky who's lost out, and the Williams now goes a little bit wide as well, as Reaper has made his way up all the way into P13, with obviously drivers involved in those incidents making contact, pitting, and a pit stop behind he will be now. Meanwhile, at the front, we're trying to get Sparky to get past Sparky to get past Reaper there. Can he quite do it though? The straight, the never-ending straight, the DRS having been enabled now on the inside lines, goes for it and throws it his car in there and makes the move. Meanwhile, pings don't seem to be the best as we have slightly drivers going a little bit of a lag out there, but Zuki is slightly just going to be staying behind Thunder there, unable to get past from him. He's past the Ferrari in P10 is Zuki now, so Origami Zuki. Unfortunately, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but there you go. Speeder in P7, that's a rapid start for him. Meanwhile, at the front, it still looks okay as the top three are all almost over 1 second of each other, but Striker within 4/10 of George out there, and that is going to be an opportunity for him to get closer, an opportunity anywhere there for him to get past. Meanwhile, one man who's got the opportunity to get past on the inside line, he sends it in there. They're will to will, they're both going to be side by side. Who comes out better of this one though? Who's going to come out on top? We're waiting for the cameras to switch. There's a big slide on the exit of Mr. Sparky, and that might allow Reaper to come back at him pretty nice and easy, and yes, he does come nice and easy out of it. They're still going to be side by side, will to will between the two, and who's going to be late on the brakes there? It's going to be slightly Reaper, and he makes, did he make contact with the wall? He might have not made, in fact, we might have made contact with the wall there, as the end plate is missing on that Williams, and now the Aston Martin driver's going to get that DRS, as he's behind on that detection point, and he should be through already even before the DRS gets enabled, as the rear wing now open on that Aston Martin. It's going to be nice and easy for Sparky to get past. Oh, that's going to be a big dive bomb on the inside line. Reaper sends it there. He comes out ahead of him. That looked like he sent it from a way back, but still comes back at him. Meanwhile, now the S-Sauber, now the Sauber's going to be coming back at him as well, as Sparky might have damaged his wing, and yes, he has. An early pit stop for a couple of drivers, as Sparky is pitted, Speeder is into the pits as well. An early pit stop for him. Meanwhile, at the front, Hart and Thunder are fighting each other along with Zuki now with these guys as well. So it's a three-way fight for P8. In fact, it might be 2, 3, 4-way fight with Welday out there as well. So that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant at the moment. So looking at tires, everybody, so along with James, then everybody down to P14. From P14 to P20 has pitted in this race so far. Meanwhile, at the front, is there a side-by-side action between the two? Not just yet. So looking at the tyres, everybody on a set of mediums from the race start, apart from those who have pitted. With the Reaper, who I don't think he's pitted yet. He's still on a set of softs, but everybody else on a set of new mediums. The Speeder has pitted, along with all the others on a set of hards and a set of softs for Max. He has pitted as well. So penalties, 3 seconds to Sparky and Angry out there at the very bottom of this one, and I think mistakes are going to come in. Mistakes are going to get more and more, especially on that chicane special, the fire, this one before the final corner. I don't think that's a chicane, it's a complete chicane, that's like a half chicane, but still a bit of tricky corner to nail. And if you're not really able to do that or nail it, it really bites you in terms of mistakes. Mistakes come in, and they really bite you, and they really, I think, come against you in a way. But it is interesting. Okay, a lot of drivers, as Max is obviously not happy. He's on a set of medium to soft tires right now, and he said somebody crashed into him. Meanwhile, one man who will be happy, and that's going to be Zuki, who's going to be on the inside of that Alpine, and he's going to be past the Alpine of Emperor, and he's through to P7. A position up, and that might have just been bugged into the wall, but that is going to be it, as the Alpine's already going to move to the inside line to defend that inside line already very early on. Is Hart going to be able to overtake him? Is he going to be able to get past the Alpine now? Nearly loses the car there, has a little bit of a snap, and is he going to be going for it? No, he doesn't. Still stays behind, touches the Alpine on the rear of it, but now there's going to be an interesting one, as Thunder now is going to be right behind in the back of that Ferrari, and with that DRS opening, it's going to be pretty crucial for all the drivers to see. Meanwhile, George is waiting in the wings. Is the Ferrari going to be able to get past both of them? He's past the Mercedes. Can he get past the Alpine as well? Who's going to be late on the brakes? They're 3 wide towards the chicane. It's going to be the Mercedes or the Ferrari or the Alpine, and the 2 go wide. There comes the Ferrari. And right behind is the McLaren as well. Brilliantly done. Brilliant racing between these 4 drivers out there, as the Alpine of Emperor loses all these positions against them. With the top runner Ferrari of Hart, or is he the top runner out there, as Thunder nearly goes for it for a moment, but eventually doesn't make the move successful, just nearly defends it off from the McLaren of George for taking it away from him, but this time around he might take it away from him, with the DRS getting enabled, but it's enabled on the Mercedes as well, so unable to get past, and he will not be able to get past at all, and that is interesting. So somebody lost control. Eventually, it was Max, I believe, was there. I think these arguments go on. Obviously, I think that these pretty much things happen during a chaotic start. And I think these are to be really not worried about, but rather taken care of after the race. Meanwhile, Striker has caught up to Prototype out there at the top, and he has caught up to him very nice and easy, and the rear wing's going to be open on that Red Bull. It's going to be past the Sauber and into P3. A podium lost, position at least lost for Matthew at the moment, and George now is not far behind at all. He's 1.4 seconds, and in case he does a bit of a better job, are they on the same tyre? Yes, they are on a set of mediums, which everyone started the race on. So anytime Prototype makes a mistake, he's already within, oh, in fact, no, he's not within 1 second, 1.5 seconds, he's within 1 second of Striker. So that DRS is still going to be open, that rear wing still going to be open on that Sauber. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Welder is going to be there. It's going to be on the inside and through and ahead of the Ferrari of Ian, and gets past Hart there and makes the move up into P9. Thunder's past him. Zuki is on top of these guys up at the front. Meanwhile, Hart is going to try and come back anytime soon, but he's not able to do it just yet. And these drivers at the front quite about not chilling, but nice and easy. What about the top drivers then? Meanwhile, Jagu has caught up, as Jagu's caught up to Justin very nice and easy. Now within 3/10 of these two, and the very big straight, a straight that the cars run out of engine revs, is on, and that's going to be Jagu 7/10 behind the Mercedes. But can he get past? The rear wing's going to be open on the Haas. He's using all that battery. So is the Mercedes driver to defend. And already we talk about that. And the safety car is out. And oh, Reaper's made a stop. Reaper has made a stop. I was about to say that this is a perfect opportunity for Reaper, but he has eventually made a stop, and everybody down from James in P12 to P20 had made a stop, and Speeder, who is the one, has crashed out. And now a very amazing opportunity for all those on the set of mediums and all those who haven't yet pitted are going to be coming into the pit lane, and that is eventually interesting, as their car was running out on track for a moment, and it's back into the pits, and eventually it should be, and that is a virtual safety car. another word for safety car, sorry, a safety car, a full safety car. Every single one of these drivers are going to be going onto a set of hard tires. A couple like Weldo going on a set of mediums. That's an interesting choice. I think possibly, I think only thing he's thinking about right now is that, okay, maybe it's 15 laps on those medium tires, but he might think, okay, that's not going to be possible. That's not really going to be his choice. Or in fact, there's multiple drivers on a set of mediums. James is on a set of mediums. Croissant on a set of mediums, and along with well, Walday in that McLaren on a set of medium tires. So they're definitely looking to pit again in this lap, because in this race, sorry. Even if they have pitted, then everybody's made one pit stop, and all, especially the eventually, except 3 medium tire runners, they made their second stop with Welder into making his first one. So eventually it's a nice choice, but it's now opened up race in terms of with a safety car in a free pit stop everybody gets, apart from Reaper. Oh, sorry, not Reaper. Yeah, Reaper pretty much. He's coming into the pits again, so that is interesting. But I mean, eventually he's got nothing to lose at this point. He's in P19, last of the running cars. So I'd rather get a set of mediums on and push, maximum push really. I doubt anybody's going to be attempting over 22 laps on these hards, but sorry, on these mediums. But eventually, it could be an opportunity for them. So that's not going to be 22 laps. It's going to be 17 laps. With I think it can be possible though, considering you'll be doing a few laps behind the safety car. So at least you're not doing it at full speed. You're not really giving these tires as much wear as much as that going to be. And drivers are arguing, and I think TMC, that's really the best advice you can give these drivers. The focus on the race really is, as I said earlier on, you know, these things are really to be focused on later on, you know, after the race, basically. Like, whatever problem you have, be it, you know, nobody's stopping you from reporting an issue, or from simply pointing out somebody else's mistake, but do it after the race. So now lap 9, I think a possible lap 10 restart could be on the way, since we have the safety car on lap 7. So lap 10 restart could be on the way, unless the safety car waits for these drivers to catch up back and goes in lap 10, and a lap 11 restart brings it up. So now just about the main straight, the long straight is remaining at this point under the safety car. We'll go quiet for a moment, and as soon as the safety car is in, which it should be, according to me, at the end of this lap, and the safety car restart is ready, with Justin leading ahead of Striker in P2, with Jegu in P3, followed by George and Thunder inside the top 5, with Juno, Zuki, Prototype, Emperor and Hart inside the top 10. Then the other 5 are going to be James, Croissant, Crawford, Waldo and Wraith. They turn top 15. Just the bottom 5 are going to be Sparky, Maxim, Angry and Reaper. In fact, they're going to be the bottom 4 with Speeder out of this race right now. And the only retiree so far in the 9 laps we've had. Eventually we're continuing on. The safety car doesn't come in this lap, so that means a lap 11 restart would be on our way rather than a lap 10 restart. So that is interesting, even more interesting, and opens up a lot of other new things around there. So that is interesting. Then a penalty for Sparky, penalty for him under the safety car. That is interesting, and these penalties sometimes I'm not sure if the game gives it as a bug or drivers just overturn them, but I've seen, especially such penalties which drivers unfortunately get under the safety car, be it their mistake or not, but they overturn these ones, and I've seen it. So now then, from P1 to P10, everybody on set of those hard compound tires in the same laps. Then outside, 4 on a set of mediums and 2, 3, in fact 4 on a set of mediums, 4 on a set of hards, with Max on a set of soft compound tires. Putting in for another set of softs, that is an interesting choice from the RB driver there, and I think the safety car should be in this lap, and we'll be picking up the action back very soon. And there we go then, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go racing, and ready to go racing out of the safety car. And he's waiting for it already as Justin, and he's wasted no time. The striker might have been caught off guard by Jagu as he's right behind and on the rear wing, on the gearbox of him, as already on the inside line of turn one's going to send it on the inside. Slightly wide goes the Red Bull, and that might allow George to get past as well. It doesn't in the end, but what a move from him there, as Prototype's now past Suki as well. Well done to him, as I'm not sure whether he used past him or not. Meanwhile, one man, the other Sauber, is going to try and get past the drivers at the front, as the Ferrari of Art and Emperor are going for it. They're going to be will to will between these two, and side by side action. The Ferrari slightly goes wide around the outside, but makes the move and gets it done out there. And at the front, meanwhile at the front we say, but we go at the back with James trying to fight and try and get ahead of Emperor, but he's just not able to do that. And there was a fair front wing flying, and it might have been from the Sauber again, and it is from the Sauber again. Oh, that was, for a moment I snapped, because I really thought they were in the walls, but that end plate is missing, and James, unfortunate for him really. I think he was not maybe on pole or in the top 2, but at least in a very, very good condition to start this race, and that might have been a better, not a good start for him, obviously, after an earlier front wing change. Another end plate missing for him, but he's going to try and get past the Aston Martin and the Alpine as well, and he has passed the both cars. In fact, the Alpine, for a moment you thought it's going to go on the inside, but no. He will in fact not be doing that just yet. So at the back, it's interesting. A lot of drivers within 1 second of each other. The DRS is now enabled, and at the front, Jagu is only 7 tenths behind Justin as well. But look at this one. Jagu in P2 is 4 tenths behind George, who's about 3 tenths ahead of them out of the Red Bull. 4 and 5 for the Red Bull team. That is then interesting for these drivers, as the Ben in the Ferrari gets past Suzuki in the Haas, as a Ferrari has crashed out of red. It should be. Let's get back to the very back to see what has happened. In fact, we did not see that. Sorry about missing the action, but I was just trying to see how he crashed, but eventually the crash got cleared out before we could do that. And meanwhile, Croissant is going to be trying to get past the Sauber of James out there. Can he quite do it though? They're both going to be will to will. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? Is it going to be the Aston, or is it going to be the Sauber? As the Sauber locks up, but it's going to be getting an exit. Not so good. And Croissant's going to be past James and into P10. And what a recovery for him as well. Remember, he was at the very back after getting out in qualifying very early. And let's see how many positions he's gained. He's getting 8 positions. That means he started 18th. Obviously, he was out in qualifying, but there were 2 drivers who joined later on, and eventually meant they got to start from the very back of the grid, and he at least got to start in P18, but already in P8, P10, and now 5 tenths behind the next car. So anytime soon an opportunity pops up, and he'll already be passed. Meanwhile, George, who for a moments ago might have been looking like being attacked by the Red Bull, might look like to attack the the Haas at the front, but can he do it? I don't think so. It's not close enough at all, and in fact, yeah, and in fact, he might be in a bit of pressure from the Red Bulls again, but all these drivers think it's kind of a DRS train at this point, because sure, Jaguar hasn't got a DRS, George has got it, but behind him, Striker, Juno, Proto Hype as well. Hard is not far, he's not in the DRS train, but he's still not far behind, still in a bit of train of these cars, 1.2 seconds, so it won't be too long before he eventually catches up to them as well, so not a lot is separating these guys, and I think unless somebody has a massive advantage, the car in front doesn't have the DRS, it's not a lot that these drivers can really do to overtake in terms of obviously the DRS train. Meanwhile, one man might think about doing something, and he nearly has to back out there. His prototype, as you know, in P5. The moment will be defending from a prototype there. One man who couldn't defend from Thunder, in fact. From Thunder would have been Croissant, or in fact might have been the Aston Martin who was able to overtake these divers. Meanwhile, he's going to switch to the inside line, already moved on that inside for them on that Mercedes, and he's going to be through and ahead of him, at least able to keep his P10. Meanwhile, Croissant in that Aston Martin in P9 at the moment, continuing on, keeping his position for the moment as Creford is into the pit lane after 12 laps on those hard compound tyres. Another set of hard should see him go easy to the end of this race. Even a set of mediums might see him go easy to the end of this race. So now this is brilliant racing between these drivers at the moment. So lap 14 out of 25. Multiple drivers within one lap, within 1 second of each other. So possible overtakes could be happening, and they are happening indeed out on track. But once again, everybody within 5/10 of each other, or rather, in fact, more than 5/10 of each other at the moment. And Prototype's catching up. Prototype is getting closer to the Red Bull once more of Juno. He's got the rear wing open, but so has the Red Bull got that rear wing open. And once more, he's just unable to get past, unable to overtake at all. What about Thunder at the back? He's fighting these guys. He was fighting James earlier on. He's having to fight Emperor now. That is interesting, as he's had a bit of a downfall then with the Alpine having to fight the Mercedes now. Is the Mercedes man going to be able to get past the Alpine now? He's going to switch his car, but he's going to be unable to do that. What about the main straight, though? There's no DRS for the main straight. It's a very short run down towards turn one, and he nearly chops off the front wing with his rear tyres. Was Emperor is going to be able to, he's just going to be able to defend his position on that time, but can he do it now? Yes, he can, as Thunder's going to go super wide, and that's going to allow Emperor to get a better start, a better exit, and just continuing on and keep his position there. I think Thunder being a little bit impatient, a little bit too impatient, might have cost him that position, because he didn't need to get past around there. He didn't need to get past in that hairpin. He just should have just waited and wait for that DRS straight, which should have allowed him to easily get past him, but eventually he did not wait, and end up costing him a bit of positions. Meanwhile, at the front, they've caught up to Zuki in P8, and Croissant is driving pretty neat and clean so far, but how long is that going to be the case with others are going to be, you know, later others are approaching. Meanwhile, Zuki's going to be there. He doesn't wait for anything at all, as the DRS is going to be open on that Aston Martin, as they're going to be 3 wide, but the Aston of Croissant's going to be through and ahead up into P8. A position's done, and he makes that already, and now around the outside, James sends it there as well. He's past the Haas as well, as the Haas driver slightly finds it difficult. Obviously, it was kind of 2 versus 1. Sure, they're not teammates, sure, they're not even trying to work together, but they just had the opportunity. Trying to defend from one sometimes makes you overdo it, and you end up losing from both of the drivers. interesting then once more. I think he's been overtaken by everybody. Yes, he's been overtaken by everybody. He has Zuki, and let's have a look at how many laps has he done on the tires. He's done 8 laps, similar to everybody, but actually now you know why. All the 2 in front of him are on a set of medium tires, so they definitely would have a lot more grip than Zuki would at least point and time of the race. Eventually the next couple of laps should be the drop off. There should be a drop in performance for all those on a set of mediums or softer compound tires compared to those on a set of hards. Meanwhile, these 2 on a set of same medium compound tire. James with that rear wing open. The rear is going to be on that Sauber. He's going to switch his line to the inside, and he's going to try and get past the Aston Martin, and he is going to get past the Aston Martin. Trying to do the recovery. He has a big lock up there, but continues on in P8, and especially after starting in a very good and a prime position, did James. He might have started P2 there, because I don't exactly remember, sorry about that, but he's lost out 6 positions, and he's down in P8, so he might have started in P2 because he was the driver eventually at the last run very fast after that, just before Justin could beat it and do an absolute blistering of a lap time there. Meanwhile, the Haas of Jagu is in there along with George, and the top 3 are now interestingly moving up closer to each other, and within 5/10. That is a brilliant opportunity, and that is a brilliant, not only an opportunity, but also an eventual call, not a call, but rather a fight for all of us to watch. Meanwhile, in the back, Juno's going to try and get past Prototype there. There's going to be an opportunity for the Red Bull driver to get past him. When can he quite do it, though? And I think we all know when he will be able to do it. As does he slightly make a mistake? He's going to try and get past him, and he might have done a mistake there, because the gap that was 2 tenths is over for 5 tenths now, and Proto will be praying under that helmet that the Red Bull driver maybe makes another mistake, or at least doesn't get closer to him. And as the DRS gets enabled, it's not much to the braking zone, but still it's not going to be close enough for the Red Bull to get past, at least on this occasion. Meanwhile, at the front, the top 2 are going at it, and the race lead will be in trouble, and it indeed will be in trouble, as the top 3 are within 1/10 of each other, and Justin's going to be in big trouble now, as Jagu going to be going for another inside line towards turn 1. Yes, he will. He's going to send it on the inside line. Does it allow George to get past? No, it doesn't, as these 2 just do enough to avoid any problem, as Jagu's going to be through and ahead of Justin just about on the edge of turn 1, but now Justin's going to come back at him. They're going to be still side by side. They nearly put each other into the wall. Then Justin this time is going to be late on the brakes and through and ahead of Jagu there, as George is going to know. He's not going to be through, in fact, as Justin might have braked very early, and that would have allowed Jagu to come back, and he's going to take the lead. He has the lead for the moment, and what a moment that is so far, as Jagu for a moment took the lead, lost it, and took it once more. It is brilliantly switching for these drivers at the front as well. Lap 18 out of 25, so they all know it is not a lot now remaining, and in this race, all top 7 on set of top medium to hard tires, so I'd assume that they're going to try and go to the end of this race, or we've lost out another driver there, Angry, along with Wraith and Speeder already out of this one, but no safety car, so he might have not crashed in a unwanted way for the drivers and stewards, and also not creating an unsafe place on the track that would need his car to be cleared, and he's already passed him. Meanwhile, Juno is going to try once more to get past Prototype. Kenny can't quite do it this time around. Again, he's going to try and do it. He's going to try every time out there he can. Meanwhile, at this front, it is going to be interesting. And as it looks like, James might have lost out positions once more. After being in P8, he's in P10 one more time. And Croissant is going to be coming into the pit lane with obviously his medium tires running now out of grip, and he goes on to another set of medium tires. That is interesting, and they almost come out ahead of each other neck and neck, and the fact they don't, another bug follows us eventually in the front wing chain replacement for James. I doubt he would have personally wanted that unless he's you know, deliberately done that, but I doubt, unless he had more damage, unless because of the bugs we were getting, we might have not been able to see that, but you know, eventually he just had in-play damage, and I think the amount of recovery he'd have to do just because of that time lost in that pit stop, eventually it could have been avoided, but not at the cast. At this in this case. So now the times are more than 1 second between every single driver out on track, apart from the top 3, and in between with Juno as well. So Juno now within 1 second of Prototype is 2.7 to the next cars in front, and all the top 4 are within 5/10 of each other with 1 second almost between the top 2. As Justin's lost out this one, I think he might have just lost out on the win this time around, but let's see. Still 5 laps are remaining, 5 laps still remain after this one, so could still be anybody's game. 1 second, yep, he's out of the DRS of Jagu as well now, and I think an opportunity for George to get past is going to be on the way, but he has to be very careful. He doesn't need to ruin it. This might be his one and only opportunity. It might be his one and only opportunity with Striker behind, who's going to be taking it with both hands. So you know that eventually you have to time the move. You have to time it perfectly in terms of if you ruin it, you go a little bit late, you go a little bit early, the car behind's going to come back at you, you go a little bit too late, you'll be going too deep, and that you would eventually mean you lose out on it, and you lose out on a lot of action, because you know, you lose out on all of that hard work that you made to get closer, and you lose out in the end. You definitely don't want that as well. And I think within a few laps, and a few coming laps, might be an opportunity for George to get past. Is this going to be an opportunity for him though? Does he fancy a move? No, he does not. And I think, as I said, he knows the importance of it. And one mistake right now will ruin the whole process, will ruin the whole hard work that is made up until right now to get closer to P2. And Justin, who led for many laps, who led for almost 19 laps of this Grand Prix, is now in big trouble. He's now in pressure from not only he's lost out his lead to Jago, but he's now in big pressure from George as well, along with Striker, who's right behind him as well. That is going to be now a brilliant one, as this time an opportunity will be there for him, but not enough for him to get past. And definitely the patience, he's playing it patiently about right now. Still a little bit of a time that he can buy, a little bit of a time that he's got at least enough, and he's gaining up. Look at that. That's now 3/10 between these two, 4/10 between these two. He knows he can get past. He knows he'll get an opportunity, but a brilliant exit from Justin there eventually. But he's gonna have to worry about this. At this point, George, now 4/10 between these two, the closest they would have ever been. The DRS is going to be open on that McLaren. He's not saved up maybe enough battery, but so Justin might have not done that as well. It's going to be a taste of who gets this better, as the DRS is now enabled. Is he going to be close enough to be making that move? One more time, I don't think so. He might fancy it. Desperate move, but I don't think so. With Striker now getting closer between these guys as well. Not much of a difference. And now lap 21, we'll be heading towards lap 22. So we're 22, 20, 24, and 4 laps to the end of this one, including this one. It's going to be interesting, because you know that eventually you could lose that process, but also you don't have to be waiting on the wings and be at the final lap of the race and you're unable to overtake. So you have to create a chance. You have to create a chance nice and easy. So looking at the penalties for everybody out in this one, 3 seconds for James Creford and Waldi, with 10 seconds to Reaper and 6 seconds to Sparky in this race so far. We lost out 3 drivers out of the 8-tier. 20 started, Speeder, Wraith and Angry at 3, who we've lost. Meanwhile, at the back of the field, after that right to the front, had lost us. Gammon at the back of it, but Max gets past Reaper there, very nice and easy, and does it, and brilliantly does it. Meanwhile, one Mercedes is trying to defend at the front, the other is trying to overtake at the bottom, at the back for the final points or scoring positions. Mercedes currently lead the constructors, so that is all they need, and one extra point would be a brilliant addition for him there, but Thunder just unable to get closer, unable to get past. Meanwhile, at the front, once more, we are back at it as Jago is brilliantly leading. I wonder if he's saved up his tyres, if he's just taken enough care of those tyres, because Justin is now over 2.2 seconds between to the limb and himself and the leader. He didn't fault it much as well. Jago maybe had enough speed and pace which Justin knew about, and he knew that he's going to be getting past him. Slightly goes wide, just Dustin there. That might allow George to get past him. That might allow even Striker to get closer, but no, in fact, once more is going to have to wait. One more time, we're going to have to wait for this one. I think now he has to go for any opportunity that he gets right now, otherwise on the next lap, and it will be the case of make or break it for George, make or break it for Justin as well. Will he be able to defend against an experience of George, along with even better experience of Striker to try and attack, obviously? But I think Striker just not exiting, but rather staying away from this battle at the moment. I think he kind of knows, he kind of would be wishing under the helmet that he'd hope that eventually a fight breaks out between George and Justin, a crazy fight that maybe allows for him to get through, for maybe him to squeeze through past one of them and get on the podium. A top 3 finish would really be any driver's point, and now Prototype at the moment is in P5, still staying there for a second. I thought George was going to be past him, but no, still not the case, and Prototype 4 seconds behind these guys. Still, he was seen behind on track as Reaper's retired. I wonder if he's done it in the pit lane. Yes, he has, but the car might be coming out of the pit lane. In fact, it doesn't come out of the pit lane, so that is great news. Eventually, meanwhile, James is going to be getting past, and he will be past the Alpine of Emperor into P9. Definitely James trying to make recoveries as well after a not so good race for him at all. Is it going to allow the Alpine to come back at him towards turn 1? It might allow the Alpine to come back at him towards turn 1. An opportunity is going to be there for him. Does he go for it on the inside line? No, he doesn't at all. And meanwhile, we see that at the front once more. George was 2.5 tenths to Justin out there, but again, he doesn't overtake. He might not have the confidence, or he's just waiting for the final lap, for the final opportunity to get past him, or he's just showing some sportsmanship and really being careful there, because I think as much distance he has at the moment, unless he's within 1/10 or within 2/10, when it would be an ideal position for him to get past, or an ideal gap for him to get past, with a 4/10 or 5/10 gap to the car in front. I think it would rather be a desperate dive bomb than a planned one, than a one that would be nice and easy. The one that is planned eventually okay, but that is really the case so far, and in all of that, he might be in back pressure while trying to overdo against Justin. He might have overdone it, and that is just Striker right behind him, who's going to be putting that pressure on George now on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Your race leader leads it by 2.8 seconds. Meanwhile, fight for the podium is still on for second and third place at the front. There's a yellow flag, and Max might have put it in the wall on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and Sparky will need to get out of the way of Jag. I wonder if he's getting out of the way. When is he going to be doing that? Because that might allow the ones behind to get closer rapidly, but that isn't the case about right now. And this is going to be the final opportunity for everybody and for anybody who goes around here now, as there's going to be Striker within 5/10 as well. I mean, we're focusing on George trying to get past Justin, but Striker might just try and get past both of them if they fight for a little bit. And I think Justin Or in fact, George was a little bit closer, but he might have just overcooked it once more. And an opportunity is going to be there one more time. And this might Bill and be one and only opportunity to get past Justin. Can he get past Justin there, though? This is going to be interesting to watch as Justin goes defensive on the inside line. And he does it enough. And he has done it as Justin, at least for the moment. Meanwhile, our leader at the front, it is going to be Jagu, who in the end leads and wins the Vegas Grand Prix by 2.9 seconds. And that's 2 race winners in 2 races here at Digital Racing Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Season 13, round 2. Justin won round 1. Jagu wins round 2. Justin in P2 with Striker in P3. That is interesting. Striker might have caught him up. I don't think there was penalties to anybody, and he might have caught him up, yes. And just George might have been caught up by a Striker in the end and loses out on the podium. Striker on P3, a podium for the Red Bull. Prototype in P5, a bit of a lone race towards the end. Juno in P6 as well. Hart in P7, a decent and a very good, I think, constructors for Red Bull. You know, Haas as well, P1 and P8 for Zuki with Croissant starting P18, finishing in P9. James, after a handful of incidents throughout the race, still manages to finish in P10. So well done to James as well, after a not so good of a start, and a start that he would have not liked at all in the end. That was a brilliant one. Hope you all watching really enjoyed it. And that was the action, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I'm very low on energy as well. I haven't quite slept. I'll tell you, in my local time, it's 9:30 p.m. right now, and I woke up at 2 a.m. yesterday. So that is almost a day, 24 hours. I'll be awake for in a few hours if I don't sleep. And there we go then. A top 3 different podium, and eventually, actually, all top 4 different cars out there. A good result for Red Bull. P3 and 4, P3 and 5, or P3 and 6 actually. That might not be a good one. It's a good one. It's not too bad of a one. But they get the same. They in fact outscore Mercedes this time around. So that's the end of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Jagu wins it ahead of Justin in P2 with Striker, George, Prototype, Juno, Hart, Croissant, and James inside the top 10, with Emperor, Weldo, Thunder, Creford, and Sparky inside, and finish out the top 15 with Max, Reaper, Angry, Wraith, and Speeder all out of this race, and unfortunately unable to finish this one at all, and not really able to get a good start, a good end to this race at all. Max in the end eventually qualified at the got out of this one actually at the very end. So an unfortunate end to his race. But hope you all watching really enjoyed this section. I tried to bring you all as much action as I can, and sorry to all those who could not get themselves on the stream or their action was not recorded. There was just too much to record, and that is, I think, an interesting one. So now, that's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all watching enjoyed it once more. And from all of us here at DRC, Digital Racing Championship, adios, we are out. See you next time at the next round, and make it a nice one. Can we get 3 races and 3 winners? Hold your votes. Hold your line for the next race, and come back same time. Adios.